This is Raising Rock Climbers. I'm Marina, your host, mother of 2 rock climbers, and a wife to an extreme athlete. Did you ever wonder what it takes to raise one of the best rock climbers in the world? It's definitely not how you think. And today's guest, Dierdre Wolownick, will tell us all about it. It's funny, when I first contacted Dierdre, the mother of Alex Honnold, who is the real life star featured in the Free Solo Academy Award-winning documentary, she immediately said to me, "I'm not the usual kind of athlete's mom that you're accustomed to interviewing." And I didn't really understand what she meant by that until I ended up reading her incredible memoir, The Sharp End of Life, A Mother's Story, which I highly recommend for everyone to read because she is one incredibly resilient and inspiring ladies I've ever had the pleasure of connecting with. Being a mom myself of a highly active son from the age of 2 was climbing everything within reach, I could tell you one thing: it's not easy raising a climber, okay? For many reasons, obviously, aside the fact of our kids' safety, but what truly messes with your heads are the other moms, right? So the majority of these moms, almost daily, at least with me, and I'm pretty sure Dierdre had similar experiences, were being told to control your son. How can you possibly let him do that? Oh my God, why can't you stop your son from doing that? I don't want my kids seeing this. And my thoughts were, why would any parent stop their kids from doing what was obviously in their true nature? The reality is, parents do stop their kids from doing what they were born to do. Dierdre's journey was similar. And today I am so excited to have this opportunity to talk to Dierdre all about it, because the journey she took a lot of strength and courage to trust her son's ability. And a lot of parents today, they don't realize how much support that in itself is. So you guys ready to hear some seriously incredible golden nuggets and how we can support our kids much more from Dierdre, Alex Honnold's mom. So how was your weekend?
Did we have a weekend?
I know, days are just flowing.
Yeah, I do. I work whenever I can, and the weather has been so crazy. You've probably been reading about it. We've had the Sierra is near here, the Sierra Nevada. We had 12 feet of snow in a week.
No way.
Yeah.
We've had perfect weather.
I know. We've been trading. We traded with the East Coast this year. The East Coast,
I'm in Spain. I'm in Barcelona.
I know.
It's unbelievable. I bought this beautiful jacket. I'm all ready for winter, and I can't even wear it.
Well, don't knock it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, we did our first climbing trip this past weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Something that my son just turned 19, and he's been dying. Have you heard of Tijuana?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes.
So we went there. It was.
How was it?
It's so beautiful. Oh my God, Dierdre, it's so beautiful. And I don't climb, and I know that you kind of started climbing so you could get closer to Alex. I'm at the point where I'm just starting to just hike with them. And it's been taking me to places that I love it. It was so lovely.
It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It really is. That's one thing I love about it.
It's just so beautiful. Last year, exactly a year ago, I took my boys to Joe's Valley. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, and Utah. Yeah.
So there's nothing at all there, but
right.
It was so pretty. I would never go there. It's just that's something I would do.
You should get the film. Real Rock. I can't remember which. Are you familiar with Real Rock?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
I've seen them all.
There's a Real Rock about Joe's Valley.
That's why we went, because my kids.
Okay.
Are I want to go Joe's Valley. I was like, okay, I just want to hang out with you. So you tell me where and I go.
Great.
Even if I don't climb, but it was so beautiful that it didn't matter. I just hung out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy that we could chat. It's funny. I started this kind of, I guess you could say, this site and this podcast because we've been living in Guatemala, and Guatemala's community and climbing is very limited, and that's all my family does. And I haven't met other people that raised climbers or were part, because I know that you were not a climber until you were in your late 50s.
Yeah, 60, yeah.
So, and I'm like, I just really want to connect with other parents that have gone through this journey, because it's a lot different when you go from, oh, my kid likes to, climb a little bit, to this is what my kids want to do.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I just wanted to be around those people who are in similar places or even have been on that journey. And I just want to meet and talk to other parents who have similar interests. And yeah, so I'm super excited to. And plus, I can't believe that me and you grew up in Jackson Heights.
I know that's really weird. Yeah.
It is so crazy.
What street were you on?
I was on 34th-10 74th Street.
Oh, 74th Street. Okay.
Yeah, it was near the subway. I know. I remember. I left there when I was 12 or 13, and we moved to Rockland County. I don't know if you heard of Rockland County.
Yeah, I know. I have cousins up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was not a very good experience. We got robbed twice. Yeah, it was. We were there in the late 70s, which I think started to become a little bit bad, because now it's really posh and kind of, gentrified again.
Yeah.
So my parents just kind of were the first to flee, because we moved there from the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So we were, surrounded with all.
That's about when my parents fled the neighborhood too.
Yeah. So I think because you were there before then, when I think it was much more Eastern European overall. And then the Colombian gangs started to come in, and like my parents couldn't even bring me to the playground. It was, it was just weird. It was definitely weird, but it was part of my upbringing. It was definitely not a place that I feel I was bullied. It was, it was a tough place. When you told me that you are not the usual athlete's mom that I would be accustomed to talking with, I didn't really fully understand until obviously I read your book, because, the normal journey is supporting the kids by going to the competitions and this and that. But I feel that you supported Alex in a way that a lot of people don't support their kids on a whole. And that was something that I think I really connected with or resonated with me was, well, Alex, first of all, is a prodigy, right? I mean, there's no denying it. And I feel that the world that we live in today, like if you are like somebody like Mozart, have a musical ability, or, like if you're graduating college at 10 years old, like it's revered. People, or like playing football. These people here send their kids to football at 2 years old. I'm like, come on. But when like somebody like Alex, who is doing, climbing crazy stuff, my son was doing similar, not as much by 2-3 years old. I was getting constant, how can you let your son do this?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I can't bring my kid over anymore. This is wrong. Or like leaving our, my sons with their kids, and all of a sudden you hear splats and crying, and I think in that respect, the fact that you trusted Alex in such a way, because I saw with my own eyes how parents would not permit their kids to do those physical things. And some of those kids had those abilities.
Absolutely.
And I've always found that to be, I don't know, wrong, right? And I think because of that, what I saw, the way you did that, and the fact that you trusted your son, I think that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That really connected with me. And also from your background, how your parents didn't trust you or didn't take your opinions or listen to you, very similar to the way I was raised.
Yeah. That's that Eastern European way. Yeah. Adults don't talk to children, and children don't talk to adults. That's the way it was. It's the way it was.
And I wonder, do you think that because of that upbringing, because I remember you mentioned in the book, you said, I'm doing what I know not to do, you know?
Yeah. From watching them, I surely learned not how to raise children, how to not raise children. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think you
can learn just as much
because of that? Oh, sorry.
You can learn just as much from a bad example as from a good example. Sometimes even more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I say that all the time. Yeah, I know what not to do. Now I got to figure out what to do, but I know what not to do, and that's my starting line. So basically, like what I was mentioning about the fact that he is a prodigy, right? And when people watch Free Solo, like obviously my sons, my family, and I have been following Alex's career way before Free Solo even came out, and his climbing abilities are phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But when Free Solo came out, the whole point about what you were saying, like people thought that he's a daredevil and this recklessness, and it's not the case, right?
No,
it was meticulous.
It's the complete opposite. The complete opposite.
Were you able to, did he ever talk to you about like his methodology? I know that you didn't know what he was doing.
Never talked to me about anything until I learned about climbing. We had nothing in common. I mean, we talked all the time, of course, but life stuff and language stuff and school and nothing deeper than that, because the only thing deeper than that in his life was climbing.
Yeah.
And his goals, he's totally goal oriented. He kind of inherited that gene from me. I'm like that. And so no, he didn't talk to me about any of that stuff.
So now that you're part of his world, do you feel that he opens up to you more, that you could share more?
If we lived closer, geographically closer, maybe that might happen. But I see him once, twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, and we're go, planning stuff. No, not really. It's just life won't allow it.
So you're still in Sacramento, and he lives close to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Do you see your granddaughter?
Yes. I've seen her 3 times now, or 4 times now. She's just turned 1 year old.
Oh, I know. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you see her, being as curious about her surroundings?
She's got it from both parents. They're both climbers. They're both extremely bright and out there. And she doesn't have a chance of not being like that.
Well, good for her. Good for her, because I think it's probably one of the best sports, even though I don't know if it's really a full-on sport. It is obviously physically because of the mental.
Yeah, right. It's 99%. It's 99% cerebral. Yeah. And that's what I love about it. You don't have to be a really superb athlete to go climb. You really don't. But you have to be able to reason clearly, and especially if you're going to do trad climbing. There's a lot of physics involved in that you have to understand, angle of fall and force. And that's one thing I love about it. That kind of sets it apart from all other sports.
Have you done trad climbing?
For the first four, I think, or 5 years of my climbing, I didn't know that there was anything else but trad.
Oh, wow. So you like plunged in, because my family, they don't do it. They prefer the sport climbing. Yeah,
sport climbing. The way I see it, sport climbing, someone else has climbed it for you and told you where to go and where to step and where to stop and all that stuff. Trad climbing, you're doing it. And I'm too independent for sport climbing. I want to do it myself.
So you want to do it yourself.
So if you're content, just following other people's routes and doing what they did and do in the places where they did it, and it's great training physically.
Right.
But it doesn't train you mentally at all for climbing.
Explain a little bit better then his accident then.
He had his father had just died the previous summer, and it was Christmas time, and he had his father's brand new snowshoes, and he wanted to try them out. So he climbed Mount Talak in snowshoes on Christmas Day.
Right. Okay. That's what. Okay, I didn't understand that part.
Horrible winter storm had blown down from Alaska, and no one knew it because we didn't have cell phones back then.
Right.
And he got to the top, and this horrible wind and stuff from the storm blew him off, and he tumbled, finished in a pile of rocks. So had nothing to do with climbing.
But how did, like, it was in, like, he still does a lot of alpinism. I see him. Did that ever affect him to just go,
No,
or he is just like
no,
nothing?
no, no big deal. Yeah, the next day he was fine. He was up. He was running around. Now, no. This is why they call him No Big Deal Honnold. I didn't know. Nothing stopped him.
Yeah, I mean, my family, they're back. They're back on it. And the dealing that I have, like, for my own state of mind, it's so hard
Well,
because,
that's you. That's not them.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, how do you cope with that? Like, now, especially because or you just don't, you just let it, you just know.
You can't let it bother you. I mean, just it'll drive you crazy if you do. I mean, he's fine with it. I'm fine with it. But he knows what he can do. He knows what he's capable of, and I just have to trust his judgment.
Okay.
If you can accept that, you'll be fine.
Yeah. How about your daughter? Because I know that she's really into being an adventurer and biking, and, well, you run together as well.
Yeah.
How do you guys? Because I know that you're really close, right? Like, that's one of the beautiful things.
Yeah, she's a real. She's also an extreme athlete, and she goes on runs, 20 miles out into the wilderness. And she should take bear spray or whatever, but she doesn't. And she goes on bike rides, 1,000-mile bike rides, and alone out in the wilderness. And there's no convincing her that there's any danger in that. And I've had to just make my peace with that, just like with Alex. They're not going to change. If I just keep objecting and talking and nagging, it'll just push them away, and I don't want that. I just had.
Where does she live?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, okay. Well, still pretty far from you, right?
10 hours by car.
Okay.
Everybody close in my life, in my family, lives 10 hours by car from me.
Oh, well, 10 hours. Actually, sometimes being 10 hours drive is further than a flight, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, now that you have started your climbing, I know that you did El Cap, and at the way you ended your book was that you, for now, are kind of finished. Have you found a new project that you want to attempt, that you want to?
Well, I didn't actually say I was finished. I said, well, that's, a great goal for now. I've done it, and
right.
I don't know what's coming next. After that, I had my major surgery on my foot, and that threw out my other side, my knee on the other side, and I've had a lot of health issues, and my foot cannot do a lot of the things it's supposed to be able to do anymore, and nor can my knee. And so I went downhill from after El Cap, literally not figuratively, went downhill physically, and then COVID hit. So I spent 4 years doing absolutely nothing. And at the end of that 4 years was my 70th birthday. And I was thinking, God, I can't have people over, can't come into my house. And we can't go to a restaurant because of COVID, everything because of COVID. I know. I'll go find out if I can still climb El Cap. And so I did that for my 70th birthday. Not the same way as with Alex. We went up. Are you familiar with the geography of El Cap at all?
Just from what I've seen on the movies and the videos.
It has two sides, basically, two faces. And there are 105 routes to climb El Cap. Climbers can go up 105 different ways. But all of them come down the same way. There's only one descent route. And that's the way I went up for my birthday. Because in the middle, the descent route has three parts. The first third, basically, is scrambling through forest, through shrubs, over boulders, through stream beds. It's really, really rough hiking. Then you get to the ropes. The second third of the ascent is 6 fixed ropes. And you have to Jumar, you have to use those Jumars on the ropes to go up that. Then you get to the ledges, what they call the East Ledges. And East Ledges is a series of, again, you're about another third of the way up. It's slabs of rock, piles of boulders, big shrubby, prickly bushes and shrubs that are, thorny. and rip into you. And then you get to the slabs on the top. The top of El Cap is slow. It's slanted, and you kind of get a feel for that in the movie. They show you from a drone. They show you a picture of the top, and the top is all slanted. So you're walking up these slabs of rock, and they're really, really steep, and there's no way to protect it. There's just solid slabs of rock with shrubs and stuff. So it's quite the day, physical day. I mean, it's a lot of work, but you don't have to do any technical climbing. And since I didn't have a climbing leader, and Alex wasn't available for that, so he was in Europe. I think he was in Europe somewhere. So I had a bunch of friends, got together. There were 11 of us went up. So we climbed El Cap for my birthday, 70th birthday. And when I did it with Alex, Alex holds the speed records on everything all over the planet.
I know.
And so we went really fast. So we climbed it in one day, 19 hours. I didn't know then how extraordinary that is. Because
it is extraordinary.
Yeah, all the elite climbers who climbed the route that we did take 4 or 5 days. So, Alex went supremely fast. And I just followed him like a little puppy. He goes there, I go there. And, up we went. So I wanted to know what it was like to sleep up there. So for my birthday,
you mean like one of those hanging?
No, we didn't. We didn't do that because we weren't doing technical climbing.
Right.
So when we got to the top, we camped on the top, on the summit. And it was outrageous. I'll never top that as a birthday party. Never.
No, that's a great way to celebrate your 70th.
And we came down the next morning.
That's amazing. You know what? Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Not knowing is probably the best way to go.
Well, it depends, because not knowing is what generates the fear too.
Right. But I mean, if you're following somebody that you trust entirely not knowing that others have never done that.
Right. Right.
It's the best way to go.
I might have not done it had I known that, it was
right. Because I think that can limit you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Sometimes it's just great. Like my family sometimes worry. They say that that they worry more about me with the hiking and whatnot, because I'm not a hiker, but I've totally changed because I want to be part of their world.
You have to explain to them, hiking is just walking.
Yeah. I'm telling them, I'm like, stop it. I could do it all. Just go. Don't tell me how bad it can be, because that's what could stop me. And then once I get there, it wasn't even that hard, but they put it in my head. And it's this, we're finding that balance, because now I really want to be more part of that world. Yeah. Because of the accidents that we have had, I think they also kind of want to protect me from it. It's a good balance, right? Like there's a lot of
protecting you from it is the wrong way to go, for sure.
Yes,
because
me being in total fear is the other way to go.
The fear comes from not knowing. So if you're out there and you can see what they're doing, a lot of that fear goes away.
It does. It completely goes away. I have to say, the only time that I'm like biting my nails and everything is now at the competitions. Oh, really? And that's more because I just can't, because I know that they could do it. And that's the only time I'm starting to actually worry now. Otherwise, and it's not that kind of worry. It's more of the frustration, like, oh my God, if they lose, I got to deal with like the crying, or, because that could be hard, consoling your kid.
Yeah,
that's
you really
a whole
can't.
other.
You really can't. They have to do it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard to just let go. That's part of the child rearing, I guess.
Right. Our main goal as parents is to make ourselves obsolete.
Yes.
Make our children not need us or anybody anymore.
Oh my God, and that's so hard. Because my 19-year-old, I'm like, I'm not ready to let him go. He's not ready to be let go of either.
Yeah.
But I'm not like,
when it's the time, you'll be ready. It's a natural process. Yeah.
It is a natural process. In the US, like there's this whole paradigm, 18, school, they got to get out, they're ready, blah, blah, blah. And I don't
Not
see
everywhere.
that.
Not everywhere.
Oh, my parents are still, that's all they see. So for us, I'm seeing my son is not ready for that. Like, yes, he could study, but right now I'm also seeing that they really want to climb, and age when it comes to being a professional athlete really is important. But today you could have many careers at any age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but that societal thing, oh, he's not going to university, and I'm like, well, we're not ready yet. We're not ready for that separation.
Alex didn't go to university. Yeah. 1 year. He did 1 year.
Yeah. But honestly, for some people, obviously for some people you do need it, and others, but at least, for instance, if things did not work out with Alex with his climbing, he could always go back to school. Like, that's always an option.
If you are going to be the parent of children like this, you have to turn off completely what other people say. Other people don't know what it's like. They have no clue how to deal with this. I don't know anybody here in my social media here where I raise my kids. I don't know anybody who could have parented Alex.
Right.
Successfully. They would have pushed them away. They would have wound up estranged or whatever, they would have fought all the time. I don't know anybody who could have parented Alex. I really don't. Just from the things they say to me, or used to say, when he was little. I mean, I got all kinds of advice that was so screwed up. Put him on Ritalin, it'll slow him down, or take him to the doctor. They'll, give him something to calm it, make him more normal. To them, normal was important. To an exceptional child, normal has no meaning. None. And so you have to, as the parent, you have to learn to just turn off what all those normal people are telling you, and just not listen to it. Just not listen to it. Don't give it any credence whatsoever, because it's a totally different journey for you.
Yes, and it's so great. I love that. But anyways, I just wanted to chat with you because, first of all, I think you're incredible. I mean, you know so many languages, conducted the orchestra. Have you watched the movie that I sent you? I really recommend watching it.
I have not. I've seen the trailer. I didn't see the movie yet. Yeah.
You will so relate with this woman's journey because being a conductor in a man's world, a female.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't even imagine. I can't even believe that you did that. You have such a versatile life. I think it's amazing. So I just wanted to meet with you and chat with you. And I'm really excited to meet you here in Spain. I think it'll be so fun.
Yes, it will. Oh, for sure.
I want everybody to read your book because right now my husband is reading your book. I just found it so interesting and it's really well written. Like, really, it keeps you really interested in what is the next thing that's happened. Like, what is, So anyways, I'm going to be putting your link for your book as well. Absolutely love your book and talking with you. Yes, the movie is coming out, right? Climbing into Life. When is that coming out?
Well, it's still being it's in post-production right now. It's still being edited and music and all this finishing touches. After that, it goes to the film festivals all over the country. And at the film festivals, companies will pick it up to distribute.
Right.
So we won't know where it's going to go or when until the film festivals happen. The trailer is beautiful.
I know. I've seen it several times. Amazing. Yeah, it is great. So anyways, I am so grateful for you to take your time and be here and to meet you.
It would be so much fun to just connect and hang out and climb and talk about life.
Absolutely. Okay.